So last Friday was a big day for various types of nerds. For most nerds, Friday was the day when the new Mac OS got released. But for hip-hop nerds, Friday was the day the new Jay-Z album leaked, or at least most of it. And for the whole weekend, Jay-Z had the internet going nuts. The official release date is probably gonna do well too, but there's no way it's gonna generate as much excitement as the leak did this weekend. And at this point, there's no denying that the album leak date has officially replaced the album release date as the main event in the life of a music nerd. And that right there is one of the biggest problems the music business is facing right now. They no longer control the moments in our lives when music becomes an event. Most of you kids probably don't remember this, but way back in the last millennium, we used to have these things called record stores, and it used to be a big event to go down there and pick up new records when they came out. Back in 1988, my entire year was planned around that day when I got to go to the Music Factory in Times Square and pick up the Nation of Millions album. I can remember like it was yesterday, going down there and picking it up off the racks and looking at this album cover like, this has got to be the sickest album ever made. Just look at this cover. Then taking it over to my man Stanley Platzer at the counter, running home on the number 3 train with it, then delicately placing it on my record player and having my life changed forever. When you bought a new album back then, you had to have the social experience of going somewhere to get it from somebody. And when you got the music, it was in the form of a tangible object that had a feel to it, and a look, and a smell, and a taste. Don't front like you've never licked a record before. And it was a fragile physical object that you had to treat well and take care of. All of those things gave you a sense that this new album was something special and something that would have lasting value. Nowadays, we don't have any of that. Instead of counting down the days until an album hits the store, we just keep checking blogs and message boards every day, waiting for the golden ticket to pop up. And when that day does come, instead of going somewhere to interact with somebody so we can get the music, we just sit on the couch and click a rapid share link. And instead of getting the music in the form of a tangible physical object that we need to take care of, all we get are these MP3s that we download 500 at a time just so we can delete 400 of them in the morning. All of that put together adds up to the music business losing control of all the ways it used to make an album seem like an event. And that's a scary thing to a lot of music people. But it could turn out to be a good thing for musicians if they can figure out how to adapt to it. And a perfect example of that is what Radiohead did with their new album this month. On their last record, Hail to the Thief, Radiohead got burned big time when their record got leaked and became the biggest download sensation of the year. But when they came back this year, instead of trying to punish their fans for doing all of that downloading, Radiohead adapted and recognized that the leak is where music becomes an event these days. So they positioned themselves to reclaim ownership of that event, and the result was the biggest musical event of any kind that's going to happen this year. It was the type of chess move that made Kanye and 50 look like they were playing checkers. Now obviously every artist is not going to be able to pull off the exact same trick that Radiohead pulled, but eventually I think the future of music is going to lie in that strategy of figuring out where the party is at nowadays and setting yourself up to be the one who's over there hosting the party. Because if you don't figure out how to do that, you're going to wind up hanging out with some record label heads in a big empty house, looking around wondering where everybody else is at and what you're going to do with all these kegs of beer.